Welcome to November. So since this is the month of Thanksgiving, we are going to do a gratitude type of focused reading. So number one, what are the general blessings that we're harvesting this month? Number two, what do I need to be grateful for in regards to health, career, finances, relationships, and then further from relationships, like how can I better express gratitude to others in my life? We're going to look at what we should be thankful for in our love relationships or, on our journey to finding those. And then how do I better express, gratitude there as well. Looking at our spiritual and personal development path, what are the areas of thanks that we should be giving there? And then how do I better express gratitude to myself? Because, hashtag self-care. So this is going to be a longer reading than usual for November, but let's get started. Scorpio, generally, what are the blessings that you are going to be harvesting in the month of November? And they say, you're kind of at a fork in the road. It's going to be one thing or the other. So if you choose to do things on your own, well, then you're making a choice that things are not very safe and secure for you. If you're choosing to allow other people to help you, it might feel that way. Things might feel unstable, like it's hard to hold on to money and things like that. But the good thing that comes of that is that you understand who is, your ride or die, who wants the same things that you do and who doesn't. So as far as relationships are concerned, to a partner, for example. Oh, you know what? It's really clear to me all of a sudden, we just want different things. Or, when I took this job, I really felt like, the culture of this workplace and, what I value, we're on the same page. Not really feeling it anymore. I think we're going in different directions, kind of a thing. But it becomes very apparent for you, which means that you can make swift changes that are meaningful for you, and you might not feel super confident about it, but it is for your highest good. Okay? So it doesn't sound very positive, but it is positive because everything that happens to us, nothing that happens to us is bad. It might feel bad, right? But there's always something good to come of it. There's always that silver lining. It's hard to acknowledge in the thick of it. And when we start, going down that path, but coming out the other side of it is very apparent, whether that takes, 6 months or 6 years. Some people 6 decades. But they're saying, luck is on its way, not necessarily in regards to our day-to-day lives, our schedules, our routines, our finances, but it is on its way. They say just maybe not in regards to career, finances, possessions, things like that, okay? So in any other area. Other areas, speaking of, let's start with health. What should we be thankful for in regards to our health this month? And they say positive changes. So, and they happen quickly. So maybe you start a new diet, boom, lose 10 pounds. You start a new medicine to help with your anxiety. Boom, super effective. I'm like never anxious, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to be different for everybody. That's the problem with general readings. But that's kind of what they're saying. Anything that we implement, boom, overnight changes. Now, in regards to our career, what should we be thankful for this month? And they say solid, honest communication, being upfront and assertive, and then things being implemented to create positive change and excitement, enthusiasm in a positive direction. What should we be thankful for in regards to our finances? They say that's also going to change overnight for the better for some of you. Now, it didn't sound that way in the beginning of the month because you're like, hey, something might be a little bit hard, it might be a little bit challenging, but if we choose column B instead of column A, it's a little easier for you. They're like, by the time we get to the end of the month, things are going to turn around for you. But this really does depend on our attitude. If you're this guy sitting here focusing on what you don't have, on your lack, you're going to get more lack. If you turn your little ass around and you look at these 2 cups that are standing, you're like, you know what, I'm really grateful that at least sure, maybe I can't pay my electricity, but I'm grateful I could pay my phone bill. So now I've got this flashlight on my little iPhone to get around in case they shut that off. Whatever that is, they're like, hey, focusing on the things that we do have is just going to help us to attract more of it, more abundance, okay? Because things could always be colossally way more fucked up than they are when we're throwing our little tantrums, okay? So it's not to say that what you're going through isn't a big deal, but they're saying it could be a way bigger deal. So let's try to stay positive here. In regards to your relationships, generally, not your love life relationships, but other relationships, they're saying that this is a month in which we should be thankful for the kind words and the kind things that other people say to us, the compliments that we receive, the invitations we get to go celebrate and have a good time. They're saying you don't actually have to go to those things, which is such a Scorpio thing. As I'm recording this, it's October 22nd, which happens to be a Tarot Tuesday. So if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I put out like a weekly tarot scope for each of the signs. So a tarot horoscope. So for this week for Scorpios, it was like, hey, people are going to ask you to go places and do things, and you're not going to be in the mood, and you're not going to really want to do it. But if you force yourself to go and do it, you might be thankful that you did. And so it's like that energy kind of persists throughout the month of November. Even if you don't go, it's still going to feel good to be invited, to be included, and things like that. So how do you express gratitude to others just for like extending that invitation? They're saying the same way that you always used to, or like even going backwards to like when you were children. Maybe you pick a flower and you're like, hey, thank you. I think you're really special. Writing them a little note, I really like you. Sending them a little Valentine, that kind of an energy, like a childlike way of expressing gratitude, even if that's just a big hug, or saying, I think it's the Step Brothers movies. Oh my gosh, did we just become best friends? That sort of a thing. So, in regards to your actual love life, if you are single, what is there to be thankful for? And they're like, well, the anxiety that you have being single, it's way worse when you're coupled and you're trying to control the other person. So like, be thankful that this anxiety isn't total catastrophe. Like, it's not as bad. Like worrying, like, am I going to be single forever? Isn't necessarily as it doesn't incite as much fear and PTSD type of, scenarios for like those desperate attempts of trying to control your partner when things are going awry. Oh my gosh, do you still love me? Like, are you going to be with me forever? Like, are you cheating? It's none of that. What they're saying is, for those of you who are single, thinking about what it is that you want long-term. What do I want long-term from a relationship? Do I actually want to be married? Do I actually want to live with somebody forever? Do I just want my partner to, my future potential partner to be like, a neighbor that lives close to me, but not with me? And they're saying, when we're thinking about what it is we want for our long-term, we can manifest it in the month of November really, really quickly. They might just show up out of nowhere. For those of you who are coupled, what should we be grateful for? And they say, for the things that you can't see. Now, that doesn't sound very positive, does it? But what they're saying is, it depends on how you look at things, right? So somebody might have these like really positive, loving feelings of adoration and admiration and joy and appreciation for you, and you just aren't noticing it. Maybe you speak different love languages. But for those of you who want to be like, oh, fuck, like there are things that I can't see, like what I don't know can't hurt me, and maybe not such a positive thing for you. So generally, what else can we be grateful for? And they say, for the lies that we tell ourselves. Well, why? And they say, because they're the things that we choose to believe in. So it's like, hey, when we're telling ourselves how we're going to feel about something, how we're going to perceive a certain situation, we only have ourselves to thank for that. The thoughts that we have are things we can't control, but the ones we choose to believe in and buy into are things that we get to choose. And so, like they say, there's two sides to every story, and then there's like the accurate story somewhere in the middle. And so they're saying, which way are you going to choose, right? Because you only have yourself to thank for the stance that you take and the way that you perceive things, the lens in which you view the world of your relationship. So there's that. In regards to your spirituality and your personal growth, you should be thankful for this time of rest. Like, there's not much to do right now. You just kind of get to chill, relax, process shit in your dreams. And then they say, you're to this place now where you get to feel more hopeful than maybe you have in the past, where you get to think about, here are the things that I want for my life. And then maybe even bigger, more beautiful things than you ever anticipated can start showing up for you. So that's awesome. It's like, sit back, relax. You've changed your perspectives on a lot of things, and the things that you haven't yet done, you know where you need to grow and you're working on it. So good. So how do you better express gratitude and to yourself? And be like, hey, bravo, good job. How do you do that self-care this month? And they're saying, well, you already know, and so it's easy for you to just go on and do it. Is there anything else that Scorpios need to know? And they're like, this is a time of healing, and Mercury retrogrades, which we're going to be in for the majority of November, are opportunities for that. It's like just letting these kind of things fall off. Not thinking about things from a different lens sometimes, but also just like kind of healing them, letting those swords fall out of our back instead of, coming into our back. And so they're saying you might feel a little bit excited about new possibilities and new opportunities, and finally, take up this activity that you've always wanted to do, or, start writing a book, maybe go create a Tinder account, whatever it is. They're saying, things are going to be what you make of them. And so a lot of you, coming back to the beginning where we started, are at this crossroads, and it's like, am I going to do this thing or am I not going to do this thing? And they say either way you're going to get what you want. It's just a matter of speed in which you get it. If there's something you've been wanting to do, if you decide, hey, I'm going to go do it, even though it's Mercury retrograde and sometimes that's not a good time to start new things, they're like, you're going to get exactly what you want. For those of you who are going to like chill out and lay back, this is a good time to just like kind of take this time and relax, and then things start moving for you anyway. So you can't really fuck up your November, which is good. I love you so much, and I'll see you in December.